Hello everybody, my name is Benjamin Bloom and I have just witnessed Reading 1, Fulham 4 in a bit of a mauling here at the Majewski, but the game really changing on a first half red card for John Swift. Fulham then swept in to a 3-0 lead, and really the last hour of this was a kind of surrender and a bit of keep ball. But let's go through what happened in that key opening half as Fulham now record back-to-back wins and Reading fall further into poor form and down that table. Reading matching up. They had been going with a 3 at the back. They matched up with Fulham today, gone with a back 4. Raphael in goal. Yidem, who scored that late goal at Swansea at the weekend. Morrison and Moore are centre halves. Richards is the left back. Rinamoto is going to sit at the back, in front of the back 4. With Swift is going to be the playmaker. Ejaria is going to be the legs in a quite well balanced midfield. Maite is going to play off to the right hand side, maybe not his favoured position, so he's taken one for the team as they match up with Fulham. Barrett down the left, Puskas up front down the middle. Fulham, Bettinelli in goal. Odoi comes in, no. Sessegnon at right back. Mawson and Ream are the centre backs. Joe Bryan is the left back. Harry Arter sitting in midfield with Stefan Johansson and Tom Cairney. So I guess that's the midfield that started the season. Harrison Reed on the bench today. Knockaert is down the right. Bobby Reed down the left, so no Ivan Cavaliero. So he did freshen up a bit today. Scott Parker and Big Mitrovic up the front. Fulham have the ball from kickoff. Reed in off the left, 25-yarder over the top. But on 2 minutes, and what happens if this goes in is a big chance for Reading. All forgotten now, but Maite, good turn on halfway. This is what he does give you when he's on the right-hand side. He can get a run into an area he wouldn't normally be in when he's up front. And he comes off the right-hand side, pushes forward into the middle, feeds it to Barrett. Barrett holds onto it. Maite makes the run in behind. He's in on goal. Difficult angle. Out comes Bettinelli. Maite goes for power. He slams. It's a good save by Bettinelli. Early chance there for Reading on 2 minutes. On 4 minutes, John Swift flies into a tackle. The Fulham players go mad. Yellow card for Swift. Hold that thought for 15 minutes time. Ejaria in the 10 position. Now he slides it through, and again they're in behind in either side of those Fulham centre halves, in those gaps. They're finding the spaces here early in this game. It's into Puskas, narrow angle here. He goes for the back heel. It comes back out and it's blocked from Barrett there. Looked like Reading getting some early joy there. Running out. Fulham play very spread across the back, don't they? And just really going straight for the throat. And really, they could have taken the lead on either of those occasions, particularly the Maite chance. Ejaria is now robbed in midfield. Mitrovic drives. The shot's deflected wide. Very open first minute. Corner comes in. Cairney's shot gets blocked as well. Loads of chances end to end. Very, very open. On 11, long one for Puskas to chase here. Bettinelli out sweeping. He smacks it against Tim Ream. It goes safe. Hold that thought also for the last quarter of this game. But on 12 minutes, Fulham take the lead. They have the killer edge to take the chance. When they get it, it's a really nice goal as well. Joe Bryan goes down the line for Bobby Reed. He takes his time, and instead of just chipping it into the box, it's a really good ball. This I didn't spot this one. I'm looking in the box. I'm thinking, where's Mitrovic? But he plays it on the floor, kind of cuts it back, really fools the defence here to Harry Arter, who's made the run to the back corner of the box there. There's 3 Fulham shirts. They're all overloading the back post. Arter takes a touch. He slides it along the floor to Tom Cairney. And before he even does this, we know what's about to happen. He scored exactly the same goal when I first saw Fulham this season against Blackburn. He scored exactly the same goal against Wigan. It's one touch, and he just he doesn't chip it as such. He kind of floats it with power, just passes it into the top corner with that left foot. I don't remember him being such a goal threat when Fulham were last promoted in the 17-18 season. Great stuff from Kearney, who is certainly adding goals in this season with the deep line playmaker, maybe freeing him up, someone like Arter in that position. Great stuff from Kearney. Lovely finish, and just a bit of a shout for that pass, not lobbing the cross into the box, but that one along the floor really caught everybody out. They stop on their heels, which gives Kearney the space to then have that touch and that shot up in to the top corner. On we go. Knockaert and Maite have a coming together here. They spend the next 2 minutes yelling at each other. Knockaert giving away a fair few pounds in that fight. And here is the real decisive moment of the game, and it's so silly from Swift. And I know exactly what was or wasn't going through his mind here, because he actually does a beautiful bit of play just before he receives it, and he actually switches to play with the outside of his foot. When he does that, he obviously has got all hyped up now, and he sprints over to kind of get the return. I think it's Barrett over on the left hand side. It's a bit of a hospital ball from Barrett, I have to say. It gets back to him, and he's still hyped up from playing the good pass and wanting to play the playmaker and drive his team forward. He's late on Odoi. It's so silly. He's left his feet twice in the first 20 minutes, won the ball neither time, given the ref a pretty easy decision to pull out another yellow card. And you've now got Reading with their best kind of progressive passer off the pitch, down to 10 men against the Fulham team that really like to sort of strangle teams with possession. And when you get that extra man, they're good at getting an extra man anyway, aren't they? When you get that extra man on the pitch due to a red card, it's not going to end well. Reading kind of fall into a 4-4-1-1, which just puts loads of pressure on Barrett and Maite on the wings, because they need to get forward to give Puskás some help. But then they need to file back, and now you're less that man in central midfield. It was always going to be a struggle, wasn't it? And on 25 minutes, Fulham go 2-0 up. They're patient, and again it's down the left-hand side. Brian on to Reed. It's a big switch of play from Bobby Reed, drives it across the pitch. Knockaert does well. He heads it down to Dennis Odoi, who's come up to support from right back. Odoi takes a touch and gives it back to Knockaert. And from here, this is just superb play from Knockaert. There's not much danger when he's got the ball. The left back, Richards, is fairly tight. Knockaert's not close to the byline at all. He's quite deep. But all he does, he draws the man, little sidestep, drops the shoulder inside, and because he's an inverted winger, these deep crosses, he can really swing them in with the left foot. Brilliant cross by Knockaert. Just takes out the entire of the Reading back four. May as well not have been there. It's such a good cross. And Mitrovic is like in the middle of the goal in the 6-yard box thinking, God, this is easy. Sticks his foot out. Raphael can't save that. And pops it in for 2-0. Lovely play by Knockaert. Fulham, we went back. I know Maite's a good player for Reading, but he didn't finish. And then just the quality of Kearney for the first goal and Knockaert's assist for Mitrovic for the second one. 2-0 to Fulham. Knockaert found early on the left. He comes inside a minute later, drives that one over the top, and then on 28 minutes it goes to 3-0, and they're just ripped to shreds here. It's Reed and Kearney do well down the left again in the build-up. If my memory serves me correctly, they do get one lucky bounce. I think there's a bit of a ricochet, and Joe Bryan is now flying into the box in behind. And again, the composure's really good from that left-hand side again. He's not going to slash it at goal or miss the near post or hit the side netting or any of that stuff. He's going to take the touch. He's going to knock it across the box, hard and low. Here comes Mitrovic. Bang! 3-0. And it's all over. Game over already after 28 minutes. Ruthless stuff for Fulham, although they're going to prove not to be too ruthless the rest of the game. Fulham start playing keep ball now, and it's quite clear as well what Parker is saying to them. There's one point where it gets switched out to Joe Bryan on the left-hand side, and he kind of waves at him. He's on Scott Parker's side and says, no, play back inside, keep the ball, rest, you've won the game, basically, is what he's saying, which is kind of true, I guess. It's a long season, isn't it? And you only get 3 points, however many goals you score, and it's a 3-game week. So I kind of get it, but the game does die a little bit of a death now, it has to be said. Intensity's dropping here, and it's almost worth Reading, given Fulham do like that patient build-up, almost worth Reading not pressing anything, just sitting back, literally try to blunt Fulham by slowing them down, slowing their passing down, and basically letting them fall over themselves. And it's natural that the intensity is going to drop at 3-0 in the middle of a 3-game week away from home midway through the first half. 42, there's a couple of chances here. Mitrovic is blocked out down one end, and we do get a bit of a counter for Reading. Puskás, he robs Ream up the other end, drives into the box behind. Right-footed, big handball shout there, no penalty. I think the Reading players trying to get something back off the ref, as we often get when there's a red card. You're hoping for a make-up call that sometimes the refs make, but I don't feel that he was really in the wrong with the red card, so that one not really a starter for me. 44, Mitro's fed in on the edge of the box, so he pulls the trigger. Another last-ditch challenge there, blocking him out. Ejaria falls over in the D right at the end of the stoppage time of the half, slices his shot into the crowd. It goes to half-time, and really, it's all done and dusted now, isn't it? Early chance for Maite. Kearney gets that first goal, great goal. Red card, kills it completely. Not just because it's 10 against 11 now, but because it is Swift, who has been a really good player for Reading this season with his progressive passing. Bang, bang, 2 quick goals, and they're out of sight, aren't they? And I just don't think Fulham are the type of team to Morley. They're going to just sit back and ping the ball about, aren't they? Which is what they do. Boye comes in for Barrett down the left-hand side. I guess he's a bit more of a powerful player. Maybe they can play out with a direct ball into the channels and he can win stuff in the air. I guess that's the thought. If I'm Jose Gomez, I'm genuinely thinking, I don't really know what to do now. It's going to take a miracle to get back into this. 45, big chance here. The narrower the Reading back four have been told to go, the wider Knockaert goes on the right-hand side. Mitro bustles on the other side past Morrison. Knockaert's completely open. Mitro plays him in really nicely. Great first touch by Knockaert. Into the box he goes. Stands the keeper up. Raphael dinks it over. Doesn't do a lot wrong. Raphael goes down, but he pings up his hand, and it's actually a really good save by the keeper. There's a big hand and he pushes it away. As I say, Knockaert didn't do a lot wrong in that attack, and he does not get the 4th goal. Knockaert down again, right in front of the technical area. He's trying to make friends with all the Reading staff now. Chippy little guy sometimes, Knockaert, isn't he? Renamotor takes it off Arta here, onto Puskás here. Great running power from Puskás. He has it right from deep. He drives, moves it to the right. He actually engineers his way into the box. For a big hulking guy, he actually moves quite well with the ball. In he goes. He's just taken it too far. He's knackered, I think, by the time he gets there. And he swipes the shot, and up and over it goes. Knockaert corner here, short one, good one actually, out to Arta. He curls that one in. First time cross, drops from Mawson. Great hit by Mawson, really clean, right into the corner. Another good save by Raphael. If the keeper, he goes down to his right, pushes away. If the Reading keeper's not on it here, that's 5-0 easily by 55 minutes, but 2 good saves there. Not a lot wrong with the Fulham attacking in either instance, and big thumbs up there for the Reading keeper, Raphael there. Mawson concedes a very unnecessary corner. Moore heads it wide, so that's all the change they're getting here. Fulham counter press here. Renamotor wins it and they snap it straight back off him early. Kenny carries it here through to Knockaert. It's a tricky angle, but he drags the finish across the goal. Knockaert desperate to score now, getting loads of grief off the Reading fans. I have to give those Reading fans behind the goal in that 1871 bit some credit. They were very loyal in the second half, kept chanting the whole time, despite the fact that they were well losing this game. Kearney here, drives again on 64. Brilliant feat by Kearney. Draws 2 in, knocks it from one foot to the other to beat one man, and then just sidesteps away from the next. Brilliant play by Kearney. Onto Johansson. He drifts the cross over to Mitrovic, who heads it blindly to the back post, when if he just turns back, nods it down. 3 Fulham players arriving there. You can see the intensity has just gone out of Fulham's attacking. They were so sharp in the first half. Drops off. That said, here comes goal number 4 for Fulham. And, oh, God, it's a horror show, isn't it? Poor back pass here. I think it's Richards in the left-back position. Excuse me for not knowing. It's one of those ones where I don't expect a goal to appear from such an innocuous position, so I got caught out. Bettinelli comes out. 2 Fulham players charging in. His clearance is charged down. Remember that one in the first half? Fulham got away with. Reading aren't going to get away with this one. Johansson has it. Now, he's got it on the edge of the box. And you have this clown show now, don't you, where Raphael's on the edge of the area. He can't step back and leave Johansson because he's just going to stick it in the goal. So he stays with him on the edge of the box. Johansson thinks, what shall I do? Mitrovic is too close. Knocks it back to Kearney. And, of course, Kearney's got the technique just to, I guess he's about 25 yards out, just to dink it up over, and the ball floats over into the empty net. 4-0 to Fulham. Another goal for Tom Kearney. I don't know, it must be 4 or 5 now for the season for him. And that's the hammering, the thrashing score now when you're into 4s, isn't it? On comes Anoma for Knockaert. Those front 3 need to be, they're going to have to get through a lot of work if Fulham are going up this season. So makes some sense there. Yao comes in for Pushka, straight swap, goes straight in the middle. Moore gets a yellow card on Johansson, and then just more substitutions here. Kamara comes in for Kearney. Camera plays down the left, and Noma drops into midfield. Be interested, Fulham fans, what they think of the drop-off when that front 3 aren't there. It did look a weaker team after all these substitutions, and you may be going into games at some point when there's injuries and suspensions. These players have got to step up, Anoma, Kamara, etc. So we'll see how the drop-off is from that really excellent front 3 Fulham have got. Lamarchin comes in on 74. I thought Parker might try and mess around with 3 at the back, but he doesn't. Lamarchin goes and plays left back, replaces Joe Bryan. Elise comes in for Ejaria, so loads of substitutions here. Richards gets himself into trouble on 83. Fulham counter. Kamara into the box, tumbles over. The Reading players not too happy with that. Nothing doing there. Game stretching now. Reading are knackered, so a couple of chances in these last 5 or 6 minutes. Nice hold up from Mitro. Reed knocks it to Anoma, who slashes it into the stand. You can see lack of focus now in the Fulham attacks, that they were razor sharp in the first half. Anoma, better effort now, but it trickles straight through, but at least he gets this one on target, I guess. Arta, you can see it's got that quiet and stay. I actually hear him as well, trying to keep the intensity of the team up, as naturally it drops at 4-0. He releases Mitro down in the left channel. He smashes that across goalwards, and if Bobby Reed is a bit more alert here and gambles and slides in, he's going to score here, but he doesn't read what Mitrovic is about to do. Maybe need to work on the chemistry a little bit, those two. And the last action is a rather impressive goal by Yaku Maite. He gets a consolation here. It's played out to him on the right-hand side. He gets a bit of a run on Lamarche and cuts inside. And what a great finish. He's 25 yards out and he spanks it into the corner. I said Kearney floated one from a similar position for Fulham's first goal. Well, Maite leathers this one and doesn't give Bettinelli much chance. He's a real powerful player, Maite, and when he gets going, he's quite the sight to stop, and a brilliant finish there to make it 4-1 for those Reading fans who chanted behind the goal for most of the game. But I'm afraid for you Reading fans, it doesn't make a slightest bit of difference, because it is 4-1 and Fulham take all 3 points. It was always going to be tough for Reading. As I keep saying, that chance for Maite on 2 minutes, the only way they were going to win this was to keep chipping away, and I'm afraid that involved John Swift at those Fulham centre-backs, trying to get those midfielders carrying the ball and have Barrett and Maite joining in. That was the only way they were going to get any joy. They concede a goal, a great goal really by Kearney, and then the red card kills it, doesn't it? He's the wrong guy to lose. Mitrovic, quick double for 3-0. And then I have to say, as a neutral, the game as a spectacle, the only thing really that you could have foreseen is some strange Fulham collapse and Reading fighting, or Fulham going on to, score 6 or 7. And again, I just don't think they're that type of team, are they? They're more about keeping the ball and stomping on somebody's neck while they're down. Kenny got the 4th one in the second half. I have to say, Fulham did look quite sharp after half-time, and Raphael stopped it from being a cricket score, didn't he? So, bit of a strange one. I can't say that Fulham really pulverised Reading, because that red card just changes the narrative so greatly, doesn't it? They were already a goal up and they did what they needed to do, which in this division, there's a load of games, there's a load of 3-game weeks, there's a load of away games, and from a Fulham point of view, it's the normal plan. They did it without Sessegnon at right back, they did it without Cavaliero, so the start of some rotation, Harrison Reed there in the midfield. So really encouraging signs for Fulham, but I can't reiterate enough, red card to Swift really killed it, and the second half just a non-contest. But some goal difference, 2 more for Mitro. Now I guess he must have 7. Now I haven't checked the other scores, I know Watkins moved on to 7, so that's good for Mitro in the top scorer stakes. Fulham fans, what do you think tonight? Do you agree with me? Once red card comes out for Swift, you may as well have packed up and gone home, because the 3 points were always going to be Fulham's at that point. And also, what do you think when I'm seeing the end of this game, and it's kind of Mitrovic with Kamara one side and Noma behind him, Bobby Reed in there. Is there a big drop off? Do you worry about the pressure on those front 3, and particularly on Tom Kenny if you lose one of those? Good back-to-back wins for Fulham. I'm sure they're up now again, pushing into the top 6 after that 4 without a win. Reading, I have to say, I'm worried about. They had that brilliant week in August, but they are not picking up very many points at all. I can see the plan. I think the midfield's balanced. They need to sort some kind of balance up front. Gomez needs to settle on a system now he's gone to 4 at the back. They need a win, don't they? And really, you kind of think, if you're going to ship goals anyway, what harm would it actually do starting Maite, Puskas and João? I don't know how ridiculously open that would leave them, but you just wonder, he's trying to find the right blend between sort of playing, he's got 4 strikers and he's only playing 1 down the middle, so yeah, we'll see what Gomez comes up with. He hasn't quite cracked it yet in terms of the shape at the back and the partnerships up front, although the midfield 3 does look like that's a finished product, but they'll be without Swift now, it's suspended. So worrying times for Reading. Let me know what you think in the comments. Anyway, I will wrap up there. As always, interested to hear from fans of either side in the comments. Narrative's pretty basic in this one today, isn't it? Especially with that red card. So let me know what you think in the comments. Hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications for plenty of championship content. Follow me on Twitter at Benjamin Bloom. This will always be free here on YouTube, but you can support me on Patreon if you so desire. Patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. I will be at Luton Millwall tomorrow, so the fun continues. It wasn't much fun for Reading here tonight, was it? Reading 1, Fulham 4. Thanks for watching. Over and out.